Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's one's been a video I've been meaning to make since I got back from phase one. But as you can imagine, having time off, having almost a month off, spending with family and sort of enjoying myself a little bit. But as we're packing for phase two, I thought I might as well get this video out, sort of bash it out, get it done. So similar to, well actually firstly, if you've watched my original one, please ignore that. Or at least, just take some of that stuff. I've got a load more this time around. The other one, I wanted to keep it as minimal as possible, but I think it might be better even to just, have the obvious on there, just so you guys have a, complete idea of what I took. And sort of what I have on the table next to me is sort of all the things I had at the end of the course as well. So stuff I bought, new things, and hopefully it'll be helpful for you guys. And just keep in mind, you don't have to buy all of this all in one go. It's just a good idea. This will get you through most of the 10 weeks if you can afford it. If you can't, then just getting the minimal stuff. And then, I will go through what I would recommend taking, before you get there and what things you could buy later on. But, without further ado, let's move to the table. Let's see what we got. All right, guys, and welcome back. So if you did watch my original kit sort of prep video before I went into Halton, as you can tell, this is a bit more than what I sort of showed in that video, but don't get too overwhelmed at the minute. We're going to start at the front. I'll talk about each individual item and sort of go from there. So if we start right at the front, these are my smart clothes. So some sort of like suede chino-y looking trousers, navy blue ones, and then just a white shirt. I'll be wearing that on my phase two as well, because on our day one or day zero of getting there, which is in the next 4 or 5 days for me from recording, it want me to wear smart civilian. So just wear anything smart. A shirt and trousers be all right. If you want to rock up, suited and booted, so be it. But whatever's smart for you. Obviously wear smart shoes. I haven't got them there, but smart shoes, whatever they are for you. So on this sort of front row, we've got my sort of civilian stuff. So starting off, we've got my shorts. These are actually swimming trunks. You don't actually need swimming trunks. They might change it obviously in the next few courses. They used to do swimming and now they don't. So this is not because I actually brought swimming trunks. It's just to signify that I wore shorts at Halton. I wore sort of shorts like these, sort of tracksuit shorts. Okay, maybe I brought like sort of 3-4 pairs, if you will, because it was quite hot, so I wore them most evenings when we're in our own time. So yeah, again, I didn't just bring one, bring maybe 3 or 4. It's just to signify what it is. Same for these civvy trousers. Obviously, these are sort of crappy tracksuits that I've got. Bring some jeans, bring some other sort of smart wearing tracksuits or whatever's comfortable for you. Again, maybe 3 or 4, 5 pairs maybe, depends on how many you want. For some people, they might be wondering, why would you need to bring so many pairs? And it's mainly because you want to hang up most of them, maybe box fold 1 or 2. You want to fill your civilian locker up with clothes, because if you don't have any, or you've got a little amount, they might start wondering where your clothes are, and they might go and sniff around in your personal luggage bag, whether it's a suitcase or whatever you got. And for some people, they used to keep a spare razor in there, so they'll shave with that, present a different one. There's all loopholes and ways around things if you're not supposed to do that. If you are going to be doing that, not saying to, then you want to make sure you've got enough in your civilian locker. And yeah, that's probably one way. But again, I didn't just bring 1 pair. That's just to signify it. So a jumper, or maybe something warm, just in case, because when I got there in April, it was still quite cold, so I was wearing that a lot in the night time. I had about 2 pairs of them. That one exactly I took, and there was one other one, but towards the sort of end, towards like a sort of May and June, if you will, I was virtually never wearing them because it was quite hot. And then here, a couple of pairs of civvy shirts. I've got some polos, just got some standard shirts and stuff. These are just, again, just to sort of show you what to bring. Maybe bring like, again, 5 or 6 pairs just to hang up. Also box fold as well. You don't have to, you can bring 3 pairs, you can bring 4, whatever you want to bring, it's entirely up to you. But I recommend, a decent amount, but nothing too crazy, because you do need to pack all this stuff as well. So just please keep that in mind. Then moving on, we've got our socks. So I've got 3 pairs here. So whether you want to bring more, I probably had actually quite a few. I probably had about 8 to 10 pairs. For some reason, I basically stocked a bit more than I would probably used. But I did actually wear them quite a lot, especially in the evening, just walking around sort of in the block and things. And then sort of underwear, I probably bought about maybe 4, 5, 6 pairs. To sort of wear each day. I'll be washing them every day anyway, but just in case, I don't know, somehow they got lost or someone stole them. You never know. So moving on to this sort of next back bit. We've got hangers. Okay, I would definitely recommend getting wooden ones. These are obviously, you could use these for putting trousers on, and also where you're folding between there, and obviously hanging up sort of shirts and jumpers and things. I only use them to hang up shirts and jumpers, okay? Reason being is because your trousers, you want to use the clips, you know, the clippy bits that goes on the top. You have to present them like that, especially in your military locker. Civvy locker you might get away from because there's no standard for it in terms of how clothes should be presented. But in your military locker, they have to be presented a certain way. So make sure you get wooden ones with clippy bits and wooden ones like these. I did have hangers like this one, like a plastic one. These are actually the ones I use. You see the clippy bits there. I'd recommend getting the ones that you can adjust and move side to side, because these just fit on my sort of issued trousers and stuff in my military locker. So definitely get decent size ones that you have enough playroom with it. Then first aid kit, you don't particularly need this. This is more for exercise Blue Warrior, so you could definitely order this later on. But I had one anyway, and I did use a few plasters and I got blisters and stuff, but that's about as far as it goes. And then following on from this is my ankle support. So this might be something you want to bring. People brought elbow supports, people brought knee supports. I actually bought this when I done my ankle in, as I mentioned in my fitness one. So I wore this sort of in the evening time to keep my ankle straight, but I never wore it when I was definitely in PT, because obviously I don't want them to see it and start questioning, you know, if I've got support on, obviously something's not right. So I definitely maybe wear it in the evenings and stuff, but you know, it's up to you when you wear it. And then next bit, we've got notepads, things like that. So I've got a small one here. I've got like sort of a small A4 one, or whatever size that is. This is mainly what I used on Blue Warrior, and I sort of kept that in my sort of PCS trousers. Something like that would be a bit too hard, so maybe just a little one like this would be absolutely perfect. And then a bit of a morale booster that I would definitely recommend you guys doing, headphones. Okay, I actually bought these on my first paycheck at, these are about 100 and odd quid, or whatever, from Curry's. These are half decent headphones. I definitely recommend you guys get them. I had just sort of in-ear ones that were decent enough, but then one goes over and they're like really noise cancelling and stuff. So definitely recommend getting some morale boosters. Having music in the evening is a big plus. It will help you get through it. Okay, so moving on to this bit, these are quite important. These are my pens. So I don't know if you can see with the camera, but this is sort of my just standard writing pens. This is my whiteboard, same with these, whiteboard pens. And this one here, don't know if you can see it, this one my fingers run along, is my Sharpie pen. You definitely want a permanent marker, because you're going to be marking off your PT shirts with your name and service number. Okay, so you want a permanent marker, but you could get away with using a black whiteboard pen, as I use sometimes when I run out of, or my sort of permanent marker broke. That's like my fourth one. And all the rest are just normal pens. Okay, so again, keep them in a sealed bag. If you want that keeps it neat, you want that to look presentable in your locker. Okay, now moving to the side of that, we've got some padlocks. Again, nothing too special. These are my sort of locker padlocks. The other ones I'd recommend getting that you could get is your sort of suitcase ones. You know, the little ones that you could get. Certain suitcase zips can fit around that, but for mine they didn't. I had to get the more little one, which I don't actually have because I've lost it. So it might be worth getting a more thinner one, meaning that the thinner part of the metal bit that just fits around the smaller one. Yeah, that might be helpful. Then next to that, we got a watch. I didn't actually buy this until really late, like week 6 or 7. So I would definitely recommend getting a watch. It's just, it'd be much, you know, you're going to be worrying about timing. Timing is everything in basic training, so just having a watch will make it much better. And you can wear a watch with most things, not PT though. Do not wear a watch in PT, I've got to mention that. Then next to that, kicking this off, this is a big one. This is usually not on most kit lists, or on the initial one. They usually send you another one that's been a bit more updated. Okay, but brasso, this is to clean all the brass in your room, in the bathroom as well, all the sinks and stuff, if you've been tasked for that, on the doors, things like that, or anything shiny, and also to sort of brass your beret badge as well. So that's a tin. You can buy them for like 3 quid or 4 quid. Actually, I don't know how much they are now, so whatever they are. So I definitely recommend that, brasso, big one. Okay, again, this is, if you've watched my polishing video, you'll see these. So cotton wool pads for bullying. And then in here is actually my sort of polishing kit. So I'll get a few bits out. So we've got here, so we've got Selvit cloths. Okay, maybe buy 1 or 2 or 3 of these, however many you want. I've got about 4 or 5 that I bought over the time, but initially I had 2 going in. You could get away with just 1, it's up to you. Okay, then Kiwi Black. Okay, that's just for brush polishing. You could ball with it, but it's not going to get a great shine. Again, if you've watched my polishing video, you would know. And then this is the King one, Saphir. So you want black one and then 1 for Saphir. I would initially bring up 1 tin of each. And actually, just before I forget, Is that black as well? Yeah, I've got so many tins of polish, I bought loads. Obviously dark tan, dropped it. So you've got Saphir for bulling, this one for brush polishing, and this is for your boots, okay, your dark boots, so that's dark tan. Now, in regards to the dark tan one specifically, you could probably get away with using maybe more of the cheaper stuff, although I maybe not recommend it, because your boots are going to get destroyed anyway. You're going to be running them, you know, you're going to be crawling on the floor sometimes, they're going to be dirty and scruffed and destroyed, so you know, you're going to be using a lot more of this than these two probably. So you know, you could start with one tin, that will do you a decent amount. I've probably done about 2 or 3 tins of this on my boots over the 10 weeks, and sort of since then, because obviously I need to keep maintaining them. So yeah, I'd recommend maybe buying one of each to begin with, and then I've got like literally tons in there now. Yeah, it might be worth doing that. So again, moving on to this one, so on and off brushes. This is actually my black brush. Where's my, I don't know what it is now. So basically on and off brushes just signify it for both. So this is obviously, as you can tell, because that's black, that's for my shoes, my parade shoes. And then this one would be off for my browns. As you can see, that's brown, that's thingy. And then something like this is my actual black on brush, but it's the same thing for the brush for your boots. So you want to get 4 sets of brushes. Again, that's a pair, one on, one off. Sorry, one on, one off. And then the same thing for this, I just can't find it in a minute, it's somewhere in there. So one on, one off for the boots and for your shoes. So yeah, other than that, I think that's basically it. So just to keep that in mind. Okay, so now we actually move on to this bit here. So starting on the furthest end, closest to you, we've got washing up tablets. Okay, I just use Persil. I actually had that big bag, like the massive ones you get. I don't know how many tablets, it was like maybe 40 odd or 50 odd. That actually lasts me the entire 10 weeks. Okay, now I did sometimes sort of jump in with certain people like, oh, I've got a shirt and stuff, can I just put in your wash? So I didn't use tablets, I just used with their wash. So that's probably why I was able to actually get through the week. That wasn't all the time, but I had about 1 left. Okay, I had literally about 1 left. So that's just the box I'm going to be taking to phase 2. Now this is actually another king that not many people talk about. This is softener. Okay, colour doesn't matter. I didn't know that. I bought colour because I thought the colour would stain it, so I tried to get as close as I can to my blue shirts. I literally got actually pretty close to it. So I scribbled it out because I actually had my name on it, and I didn't obviously want to put that on here in a minute. So yeah, definitely softener. That will start to be used more to when you iron your blue shirts. As soon as you get your blue shirts from stores, whenever that is, you know, again, I don't know what week it is every week, everyone's different on times, but as soon as you get them every weekend or whenever you've got a time, do one wash with softener. Get them as soft as you can because it will be a bit more easier to iron. And yeah, so these are actually your issued trainers. I can't actually find, I think they're at my partner's house, but my actual civvy trainers, you need some sport trainers to go to initially. Now, if your trainers are good and they're new, you can use them for PT sessions over your issued ones. You'll just have to check with the PT. They'll check the soles and sort of like, I don't know what you call it, sort of like the grip on the bottom of your sole. And then make sure it's all good and ready to go. It's all nice and comfy around your ankle and supporting it. But obviously, I'll use these for an example. So make sure you bring some civvy sport trainers. You're only going to probably use them once unless you're planning to use them for every PT session if they're new. So if I move this out of the way, flip-flops, okay, this was in my other video, Valentine Spa. This is when you go into the showers and wash and things like that. And then 2 towels, okay. So basically one thing I'd recommend doing, if I can find it here, is when you get the tabs, you want to, I don't know if you can see the black writing on that, is label it with your initials, okay. So that's my first, middle and last name. Okay, I've done that for both. One of them is for presentation, which was actually, this is one I presented on my bed, and this one I actually washed with. You know, just it makes it easier if you just use one for presentation and one for washing. Just wash it with all your clothes every night. If you're stickler about it, yeah, it's quite self-explanatory. So if I move all this stuff out of the way, start right at the back now. Clippers, okay. I had these. You don't necessarily need to buy. You don't necessarily need to buy them, but you know you're gonna maybe want a haircut during it. I just use this more for beard and stuff because I always find it easier to sort of quickly run it on and then shave it off. That's just my preference. You don't particularly need to, but once you start shaving a lot, I ended up stop using this. It was just sitting in the freaking thing, so you probably don't need this, but it might be worth taking. Again, hair products, it's a gel, you don't particularly need to take that. It's just what I bought, and these are sort of razor heads. If I can get this open, so they're my razor heads. For this one, I would definitely recommend getting a half decent one with like 4 or 5, or I don't know what the actual max blades is. It also says 2, 4, I think that's 5 blades. So get a half decent one for shaving. You know, some people had the 2 blades one. I think they're absolutely terrible for your face and they'll leave a lot of space, very rough. Where these are, you know, buy a half decent one. This was only like 10 or 11 quid or something like this. I bought a new one since then, but you know, this is the actual one I used at training. And I didn't actually, I was actually using it, and everyone else was sort of like, well, they weren't all of them, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but people that I knew were usually putting the one they used in their suitcase and stuff, and they'll present it in a different one. But fortunately for me, I actually used this, and they didn't actually I never got pulled up for my, because if it looks brand new all the time, they're going to pull it up. It's called demo, and that's an instant fail on your inspections. So these are really not that hard to clean. So, you know, I always use that, and I had spare heads, which you need. So spare heads, that, or if you're going to get disposable ones and get a pack, you know, whatever's best for you. But I definitely recommend buying a half decent one if you're going to be shaving. Then obviously, toothpaste, quite straightforward. Toothbrush, I've always used an electric one, so electric ones you can use. Just be careful with electric ones. If you pull that off, this can be quite wet, and sometimes obviously your toothbrush cannot be wet, so meaning on the head. But some of them didn't actually check that bit. They just sort of like went like that, just to snot on their arm, but on the bed to see if it'll make the sort of like the blue sheet go dark, meaning it's wet. But some of them did actually pull that back. But to be honest, I rarely actually ever got that. I just heard someone else did it to them. I never actually had it done to me. So please keep that in mind. Then basic stuff, you know, deodorant. I did actually take aftershave, but again, I barely wore it, even in the weekend, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend bringing it. So either shaving gel or shaving foam, okay? I had both. Reason being because this can actually be used as a cleaning product, okay? Strangely enough. So if I get my SD hat, which I've got because I'm packing away now, when you get your SD hat and you see this sort of shiny bit, it can be a bit scuffed and scratched. All you do is actually spray some shaving foam and sort of rub it gently in there, leave it for a bit, and then wipe it off with a cloth, and it gets rid of all the scuffs and stuff. I don't know who came up with that, but our corporals told us. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So either shaving gel or foam, doesn't really matter to me. I'll use both for shaving. Hand moisturizer, big one. Okay, something that I didn't bring and learned the hard way. What you'll find when you get there is water is the hardest water you've ever experienced. Okay, my knuckles were cracked to absolute pieces. They were split, bleeding all the time. So I actually started using hand moisturizer, and they got all right. And then in the end, they stopped. My skin got used to it and it stopped cracking and stuff. So it's very, very hard water there, and things like that. So then obviously shower gel, shampoo, all the other good stuff. So that's more of your toiletries and facilities. So moving on to the next back one, right at the back here. These are my sort of civvy trainers. I actually wore these all the time. Okay, you might want to bring 2 pairs. I just had the one. Yeah, it's just to wear on the weekends and things like that. Then if we move around to this side here, this is quite a beast of an iron. Okay, this is my steam generating iron, and thank you to anyone that recommended to bring a steam generating iron. This is actually my second one. This one I bought, my mum's using it at the minute, not literally, but she's got that, and I bought this sort of halfway through. This is about 180 quid, but it's a freaking beast, and the amount of steam that comes out. So yeah, creases are going to die with that. And then as you can see right over here, ironing board, and yeah, that's about it. So in terms of like what to buy, in the beginning, obviously, most of this stuff you'll need. This stuff you can wait till a bit later, because obviously you're not going to have blue shirts from the get-go. This obviously you'll need because you're going to be washing anyway. Pens, you know, I would recommend just buying that stuff anyway. Some form of a notepad. You don't need that. You don't need necessarily a first aid kit straight away. Hangers, you could bring your own ones at your home, and if you want to buy stuff when you go on local leave, go to Asda's, because you can buy sorry. You can buy these from the shop there, but they're like £4 for 2 hangers, which is just a rip off. So go to Asda's and buy like 2 packs of 4, whatever they do. Then obviously you're going to need padlocks. A watch, I would have probably bought a bit more sooner than I did, because it's nice knowing what time it is and how much you've got left. Brasso, definitely, all the polishing stuff. Just 1 tin of each at the minute, maybe 1 or 2 Selvit cloths, maybe, you know, definitely 4 brushes. You don't need any more than that. You know, one set for your boots, 1 set for your shoes. Yeah, 2 or maybe 1 or 2 Selvit cloths, you know, stuff like that, or cotton wool balls or pads. I'll just buy like 1 stack of that. I had about 2 just for backup, but I barely even use 1. Obviously, I'm not going to touch on civilian clothes. That should be there in the beginning. Again, don't need, not necessary. Obviously, I guess some people would say not shampoo, but I think you should, because you should be washing your hair. Hygiene, okay. Shower gel, no bus. Sorry, got lost a bit of words then. No brainer. Obviously, if you're a guy, shaving foam, shaving gel, definitely your choice. You can buy them in the shop later. Now the iron, some people will be wondering whether you should get that from the beginning. I would recommend buying a steam generating iron personally. Okay. In some cases, if I ironed it and I couldn't do it, I'll just, you know, ping it up and I'll hang it and I'll just freaking steam it because the amount that came out. Obviously, this one's quite a high-powered one. It's quite an expensive one. But, you know, get a 70 quid one or something, just a steam generator one that gets a lot of heat on there and it really gets rid of those creases. Obviously, just be careful not to burn it, but it's not rocket science. So I'll definitely recommend getting a steam generating iron. And again, thank you for everyone that recommended that my first one, because I did actually say irons are not really that much different. But yeah, definitely get one of them. And other than that, everything else is just sort of at your own wish. Obviously, towels you need to bring, that's quite self-explanatory, you need to bring. Oh, in terms of polish, you know, boots specifically, you can probably use any polish. They're going to tell you to use kiwi, but because you're going to be destroyed and stuff, you might get away with cherry blossom. But with your shoes, kiwi and saphir only. Do not use cherry blossom. I mentioned that in my other video, and you know, in my polishing video, in my kit video, I said it doesn't really matter. You know, polish for me is just polish, but you know, being there does make a difference. There are different qualities, of course. But you know, other than that, guys, that's going to be all the kit prep. So yeah, we'll just wrap this video up and we'll talk about what we're going to be doing next. So see you in a second. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you have found it useful. Before we actually go, I did miss out one more, which is below the pens stencil set. Okay, very important. I've got a few little ones here, big ones, and you know, some other bits and bobs. But I definitely recommend getting a stencil set. That would be very, very useful, because everything you mark, whether it's on your bags or whether it's on your shirts, has to be in stencil, has to be smart. Okay, so yeah, that's the other one. But other than that, guys, it's going to be in the video. I hope you have found it useful. Obviously, a bit more in depth and a bit more better than the sort of original video that I did. But if you have any questions, again, just throw it straight in the comments box. I'll try and answer it. If you have any questions about, for example, like the iron, obviously that's a bit more complex and you're not too sure what to get, then I would put maybe the one that I actually bought initially and the one I've got now and things like that. But yeah, if you've got any general questions, please ask in the comments. But other than that, I hope you have found it useful. If you are going off to, I assume if you're watching this video, you're going off to basic training. If you are, have fun, enjoy it. It's going to be a struggle, but be definitely worth. Just stick it out and good luck more than anything. And you know, before you know it, you'll be on that parade square and you'll be graduating, which is a fantastic feeling, I promise you. But until the next video, I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.